Join Chewie and I as we learn Star Wars 5th edition. Today, I want to learn about the final class on my list, which is the Monk. In the Star Wars universe, I best know this type of a character from Chewie and I, who is a character in Rogue One. Pretty much looks like the Dungeons and Dragons version of Monk, almost word for word in some areas. There have been some small changes I noticed in leveling up where features were just available at different places, and Key from Dungeons and Dragons becomes Focus in Star Wars. Now let's get down to how you're going to build this out. From a stats perspective, you go with dexterity first, because with the martial arts, you're going to be able to do monk attacks using dexterity instead of strength, so you don't need to worry about putting as much into strength. Wisdom is usually the default that you're going to want to go to, because you can use that with a bunch of your different features. One of the big differences about a monk is that they tend to focus on being unarmored. You get to add your wisdom bonus in on top of dexterity as long as you're unarmored, which is a pretty big deal if you've balanced your stats right. Once you hit second level, you unlock your focus, and this is really like a key part of what you're going to be doing as a monk. You're using your flurry of blows, for example, through your focus. If you want to use patient defense, that's also through using a focus point. Deflect missiles has always been fun in the monk class, and the idea of deflecting a bunch of blaster missiles, or as the rules say, redirecting it back at potentially other characters, that is just sounds like a lot of fun to be able to put into the middle of a combat. Like most of the classes, there's this ability for you to have certain extra features. In the monk class, these are called vows. There are a lot of them, but a few stood out. Vow of Restoration was interesting, where it says, essentially, instead of punching somebody, go and punch your friend to heal them. This seems like an interesting ability to add on to a monk. I mentioned earlier having no armor, but Vow of the Century, actually, if you take that, you could use light or medium armor, so that might be a good choice. Like all the classes, there are archetypes. This one's no different. These are called orders for the monk. The Ichani order seems like it could be a popular one, since it allows you to choose a martial weapon and a blaster and make those your Ichani weapons, which can then allow you to basically treat it as a monk weapon. Now, if you want to be creepy as all get out, you could check out the Night Sister order, where you can essentially suck the life energy out of people from a distance and heal yourself that way. I might be dodging away from this one myself, but seems like this could be a different type of monk for sure. If you're a fan of the Drunken Master version of the monk, the Trickster order, that might be the one for you, where you get, basically, you move erratically in a way that people just don't expect, so you get certain advantages. There are also orders that let you gain force casting or tech casting, so you can kind of go in a lot of different ways. All in all, the monk would make an interesting addition to any group that was going out there in the Star Wars universe. Well, that does it for all the classes. Time to go learn about something new inside this system. I'm not quite sold yet on what that's going to be. Is it going to be about starships? Should I be digging into some of the archetypes individually? Maybe I should be trying to figure out how to run one of these games. Well, whatever it is, let me know what you'd like to see.